This man shot and killed 5 women, all because his side chick cheated on him. How does a married man feel so entitled to the lives of 5 women, all because he suspected one of them of cheating on him? On the 28th of October 2023, a Saturday night, a senior police officer by the name of Visu Mansina visited his side chick, Fikile Shongwe, at her home in Goje Township, Ezuwin in South Africa, after she had called him to come. Now put in mind that she was the one who called him to come. So it was not a strange thing for Visu to visit his side chick Fikile at her house. He was a constant visitor. Neighbors know him. People know that he comes there to see her all the time. It had been said that he had visited her multiple times. I mean, that is the point of their affair. However, on this said day, it's not clear why Fikile had called him. It may have seemed like something not new since that he comes there regularly. But on this day, Fikile was not by herself. She had 4 other women in the house with her. 2 who were said to be her sisters and 2 other ones who were her friends, making them a total of 5 women in the house. So this was the situation in Fikile's house. For Visu, it was said at the time he got the call, he was at a bar. As a police officer, he was at a bar with his friends drinking, which a lot of people are now assuming may have been the cause of his reaction. And it's also important to know that as a police officer, he was loaded, he had a gun with him. It was possible that he was on duty, it's possible that he was in his uniform, I'm not particularly sure. But what was said that he had his friends with him. So when he got to Fikile's house, I'm sure the friends were waiting downstairs for him. It was probably not going to be a long meeting per se, which it seemed like it was going to be a meeting, given the fact that Fikile had 4 other women in the house. Clearly, this phone call, the fact that Fikile called him to come over, was not for a booty call, was not for sex, was not for a hookup, because I can't imagine how he would have done so with 4 other adult women and her siblings in the house. Now, I'm not particularly sure if these women also lived with her, but sources are saying the women had their lives. They were all engaged with their own situation. They only just came for that day, which is, to me, feels like some kind of intervention. Or maybe Fikile was worried of what Visu was capable of and needed people around to ease the tension or help settle things should, in case the situation or whatever it might have been, escalated. Maybe that was why the women were there. So it was said that shortly after Visu arrived at his side chick's house, a quarrel ensued. A big argument became the order of the night. This was around 11 p.m. in the midnight. And according to sources, Fikile and Visu started exchanging words. It was said that Visu was accusing Fikile of being unfaithful. He was accusing her of cheating on him. And when the argument started, it probably wanted to lead to a fight. And it was said some of the other women may have stepped in trying to, settle or beg him to calm down or something like that. But Visu most likely felt ambushed or something, or in typical angry men fashion, most likely felt entitled. It could also be possible that Fikile was trying to end things with him, because we've seen this multiple times. However, whatever it might have been, Visu did not take it well. This married man who already has a family, a wife and kids at home, feeling entitled to another woman's life, brought out a gun, shot and killed Fikile. And seeing that the other women were around, obviously, they know what he had done. I guess that was what drove him to shoot at all of them. He shot at all the other women in the house, all 4 of them. Luckily for one, she survived as at the time of making this video, while the other ones, the remaining 4, all died on the spot. The neighbors heard the gunshots, they also heard the quarrel. Another group of policemen were called, the authorities were involved, and by the time they came, Visu was nowhere to be found on the scene. He and his friends, I don't know if the friends were there, but the friends were not. Funny enough, I don't know what the friends did. If sources are saying his friends were there with him, that he went to see her with the friends, and he ran away after killing this woman, doesn't that make these friends accomplices? Well, unless, of course, maybe the friends were not policemen. Maybe he was the only police officer there, and the other friends he was with were not policemen. It's also possible. After the neighbors had called on the authorities, the bodies of these women were evacuated, while the one who was in critical condition was taken to the hospital, where it was said she's receiving treatment and might survive. The next day, by morning, it was said Visu turned himself in and, asked to be arrested. I can't imagine him running, or I feel like maybe when he heard that one of them survived, he pretty much knew that that person would call his name. So Maybe if he knew all of them died, he had a chance. But by the time he had heard that one of them survived, I'm sure there was no need to run because he may or could not have run far. And so he turned himself in. It's unclear his motive, apart from the fact that people are saying that he accused his side chick of being unfaithful. What else could it have been? There is nothing else that we have. And as ridiculous as it may sound, that motive is enough. When it comes to certain crimes that we see in South Africa, certain gender-based violence in South Africa, where men kill their partners, kill their wives or girlfriends or their side chick in this case, it's usually surrounding one thing: infidelity, or the fact that one of them said they are tired. We're not going to act brand new to the situation that women in South Africa or even in other parts of the world have not lost their life, all because they say they don't want to do again, or because they say they want to break things up, or because they say that they are done with the relationship. It's almost like it's a death sentence to end a relationship with a man. How dare you? So for a lot of people, or if I wasn't already aware of how this crime world works, I would have thought it was ridiculous for this man to bring out a gun and kill 5 women because he accused his side chick, who is not his wife, of cheating. It would have been a lot more giving if it was his wife that cheated and he acted like this. But this is not his wife. It's his side chick. Someone else's wife, most likely. And he got offended that she is seeing other people. I don't even know. This sounds ridiculous to be the motive behind killing 4 women. It does sound ridiculous. Unfortunately, that is the case. And sadly, that is enough. I mean, we saw the story of a woman who got stabbed nearly 20 times by her rapist husband, who is also abusive, all because she said she doesn't want to do it again. Visu is said to appear in court soon enough, and hopefully he will be tried. I mean, at this point, 4 old women. I don't see him having a case. Like, he's going to just... I just hope he's sentenced to death, because I don't even know what they need to do. There are just certain cases you don't even need to go to court for. Like, literally, what are we doing? If he turned himself in and admitted, why do we need to waste taxpayers' money in courts getting lawyers to do? Oh, please go to jail. Just be in jail and get killed or something. Just go. We don't need to even hear what they said in court. It's just unfortunate that these women had to lose their life because of this man. Personally, for me, when I first heard the story, my initial thought was maybe Fikile was aware of what this man was capable of. Maybe Fikile was even in an abusive side chick relationship, and she knew that this man was dangerous, and she probably needed to break things up and needed her friends around to maybe support her by the time. Maybe that's why a lot of the friends were there. Maybe the women knew, because the women were there when he walked in. So he probably walked into something that felt like was off. And maybe it was the women that encouraged her to end things with the man, because obviously, out of all these women, one of them must have talked sense into Fikile's head into, dating a married man. And I'm sure that is what it is. Maybe this was an intervention. Maybe all the women, her sisters and her friends, had told Fikile, see, you have to end things with this man. He's a married man. You're destroying another woman's home. And Fikile was like, okay, fine, I will do it, but all of you needed to be here. So they probably told her to break up with this man. I'm sure one of them must have had the decency, or maybe they all came together to talk to her to stop dating a married man. And she probably requested that they be there while she ends things. And could have been why she called him to come over and let's talk. And he came over and everything went south. I just feel bad for the women who had to lose their life, or because they were there to most likely support their friend into doing the right thing. My thing is, I just wished that these other women weren't involved completely. I just wish that they did not need to lose their life, because I can imagine they have their own family, their own husbands or boyfriends or children, and now they've lost their life because of a man who could not handle the fact that a woman who he's not married to is seeing other people. It's so entitled. I would never understand, for the love of God, why a married man will feel entitled to another woman's life or loyalty. See, if you're a married man and you are sleeping outside, or you have a side chick, you can't be expecting your side chick to be faithful to you. Not when you're cheating on your own wife. Like, where does that entitlement come from? And even if you don't like it, to what extent do you feel that you now own their life because they no longer want to keep being your side chick? It's just unfortunate, it's just sad, it's painful. that this happened to these women. I really hope more things are done to protect women. And I feel like for a lot of women, if you know you're dating a very abusive man or a man that you have to worry about, if you know your boyfriend or your sugar daddy or your husband is somebody who goes crazy and you want to end things with them, try not to do it in person. Try not to call them over. That is why we have mobile phones and text messages and video call. If you know you're dating somebody who is crazy, don't try to destroy them or hurt them or break up with them in person. That is something we need to learn. If you're dating a crazy person, don't call them in person. Don't break up with them in person. Run away as far as you can and do it over a text. Give it a month or 2, 3 months. They will move on and they'll be fine. Because in the heat of the moment, they get crazy and feel cheated or feel entitled and bring up a gun or bring out a gun and start killing. It's unfortunate. But I'm glad that he turned himself in, and I'm hoping that he faces the full extent of the law.